people say they're offended, it's that just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right, you know? It's... offence is about feelings, and feelings are personal. Some people are offended by equality. So what? You know, so you can't second-guess people if you try and please everyone.
For those who have had a good share of his videos lately, you all know that Ricky Gervais has had enough of Hollywood's political games. In one of his most savage moments, he stood before a room filled with some of the industry's biggest names. And boy, he didn't hold back. The British-American comedian and actor has spent the last few years making headlines for boldly sharing his thoughts on the woke culture dominating Hollywood. But what really gets under Ricky's skin is watching celebrities and influencers push their political agendas, parading their beliefs as if they're setting the moral standard for the rest of us.
Hi guys, Ricky G here, wellness and beauty influencer. As a celebrity, I know all about stuff, like science and politics, so trust me when I tell you who you should vote for. If you don't vote the right way, that's like a hate crime, and it makes me sad and angry, and I'll leave the country, and you don't want that.
Seems like a harmless video, right? Well, truth be told, Ricky's sharp wit exposed a deeper criticism. He accused these stars of being both ignorant and manipulative. In just under 30 seconds, Rick Gervais took on the role of a Hollywood celebrity, mocking their tendency to broadcast political opinions to their fans. And if you still think he holds back, remember the time he boldly name-dropped Taylor Swift, calling her out along with the others. This wasn't new for Ricky, as we've already seen from his Golden Globe speeches, where he unapologetically claimed they didn't really know what they were talking about. Ricky Gervais has been relentless in calling out Hollywood over the years. His message? Stick to entertainment. As a comedian, Ricky cleverly critiques woke culture, using sharp humor to highlight its contradictions.
I'm not a gay. He go, I bloody am. He go, I'm going to sue you. I go, you can't. You can't. He go, but know that I am gay. I go, I don't believe you are. He go, well, come on with me and see the shit I do if you don't believe me.
One controversy sparked when Ricky dead-named the well-known transgender person Caitlyn Jenner. In woke culture, dead-naming refers to using a person's former name or gender after they've transitioned, which is considered unacceptable according to the woke ideology. Watch as Ricky, in his usual subtle way, expresses his strong opinions on the matter. But this was only the beginning. Showing no remorse for offending a transgender person, he went a step further by making a joke about Caitlyn Jenner.
But I was talking to them, I'm willing to learn, and I found out my crime was that I dead-named her. Now, I'd never heard that term, before a day after the Golden Globes, and that was saying her old name, and even acknowledging that she used to be a man. But she did. I saw him on the Olympic Games. It was decathlete, it was in everything. He was all over the place. Shot put and pole vault. He won a medal. He was famous. He was on telly all the time.
Despite his bold comments and sharp jabs at woke culture, Ricky Gervais faces plenty of backlash. Outrage often erupts over his remarks, like some of the things he said on his shows. But in true Ricky fashion, he really doesn't care.
Our show Supernature dropped on Netflix last year. Big backlash, wasn't there? Big backlash. People going, you can't say that. You can. I did.
According to Ricky Gervais, woke individuals often present themselves as champions of minorities, using their stance as a pretext for virtue signaling. In reality, it seems as though minorities are merely a tool for making their opinions appear more righteous than they actually are. It even gets worse. Why? Because if anyone dares challenge these views, it's immediately silenced and labeled or being cancelled by the woke crowd. And this is what Ricky hates. What makes Ricky Gervais truly intriguing is his sharp mastery of sarcasm, which he wields like a weapon to challenge woke culture and highlight its inconsistencies. In one of his speeches, he takes aim at woke individuals for their tendency toward virtue signaling.
I'm not a fascist. It's an odd thing to just declare, isn't it, that you're not a fascist? We assume, don't we? You wouldn't go up to someone on the street and do that, would you? And go oh, by the way, I'm not a fascist. It's like they protest too much. It's like going into a school and going, I'm not a pedo, so just forget I even mentioned.
Continuing his critique, Ricky Gervais raises concerns about woke publications, dictating how comedians should perform their craft. He pushes back against the notion of rules being laid down on what can or cannot be said in comedy.
But now there's so much outrage and we hear about it and it's taken seriously, you know. There's Oxbridge comedians writing for the posh papers, telling you the rules of comedy. They're laying it down, laying down the law, right? And it's all stuff like, comedy should punch up. You should never punch down. You should never punch down.
Comedians have always enjoyed creative freedom when telling jokes, but woke culture has led people to start policing what they can or can't say. It's no surprise that Ricky isn't a fan of this. Watch how he delivers a strong message to those pushing these limits.
Sometimes you've got to punch down, like if you're beating up a disabled toddler. You know what I mean? If you punch up, you'll miss the little cunt and he'll win, you know?
Sounds funny, right? But hear what he says next.
I like that joke because it highlights the difference between metaphorical punching down in jokes and actual punching down. But people nowadays want you to believe that words are actual violence, right? Now, you laughed at a joke about beating up a disabled toddler. No one got hurt. If I'd have actually dragged out a disabled toddler and started beating him up, you would laugh, right? That's why I dropped that bit.
To put it in an even better perspective, he goes on and gives a detailed example of the point he's trying to put across. Wow, just wow. In a clever joke, Ricky Gervais takes another jab at woke ideology, emphasizing that doing something wrong shouldn't be equated with merely discussing it. This echoes his point that feeling offended doesn't necessarily mean you're right. According to Ricky, woke individuals often treat jokes about sensitive issues as if they were acts of violence, and that's where he draws the line. In short, Ricky Gervais is against how woke individuals force their ideas and beliefs onto others. He finds this approach arrogant.
How arrogant are you to think that you deserve to go through life with no one ever saying anything that you don't agree with? I want people to stop saying that joke's offensive.
Yeah.
I want them to start saying I found it offensive, because you've got to own the emotion, because that's all it is. You're just telling me how you feel.
This speech highlights that Ricky Gervais isn't necessarily bothered by people getting offended. His issue is with how they amplify their personal grievances into broader, more general problems. On top of this, Ricky had even stronger words for the woke community.
Yeah.
You don't have to pave the jungle.
Yeah.
You can just grow a pair and have a laugh.
Well, we can all agree that it's a debate between facts and feelings, a conflict that's persisted since woke culture became popular. Ricky Gervais thinks comedy shouldn't be taken too seriously. He believes that woke individuals should tone down their sensitivity and learn to laugh, even if the joke is at their own expense. What do you think about all of this? Share your thoughts down in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more factual videos. See you in the next one.